Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, Council. Good evening, Mayor, residents, and staff. As we look at where we are as a borough, a concept that keeps coming to my mind is community. A community is made up of neighbors. One of the main things that I've enjoyed while being a part of the Lansdale community is my neighbors. We look out for each other, looking in on an elderly neighbor, watching each other's kids grow, assisting on a home project, helping such as mending a fence or even helping shovel snow, hopefully not back out into the street, but still shoveling snow. Being part of a community also includes going with neighbors to one of our many community events, some of which were mentioned here tonight, or welcoming a new neighbor to the house or apartment down the street. Being part of a community also builds relationships. Those relationships involve people, but also include businesses, community organizations, and other volunteers. We have seen a visible impact from those relationships around the borough over the past year. We have seen Ed and Ann Shearing conceive and carry out the Hometown Heroes Banner project. It's exciting to see the many events happening around town. We saw a huge outreach during this summer's Founders Day events, participating all over town. One of my favorite family events is coming up soon, the Christmas tree display. As a grandparent, and that's close to my heart, it is a memorable time taking my grandkids to see all of the different trees. Bill Henning's spectacular Lionel tree reminds me of Lansdale Borough's great railroad history and how special the holiday season is here in Lansdale. We at the borough also look forward to new ideas that neighbors and a community develop, much like the grassroots beginning of the annual Beer Fest, which started as a concept among neighbors that turned into an event drawing thousands to Lansdale each summer. The list of events and individuals who make Lansdale such a vibrant community is too long to list tonight, but we look forward to these initiatives continuing to grow. As good neighbors, we'd like to see our properties well used, maintained, and improved when necessary. Also, as good neighbors, it's exciting to see new families moving into Lansdale to become part of our community. This is something that we've been experiencing over the past few years, and all indications are that this will continue to be the pattern for the borough well into the future. As we strive to be good neighbors, it is without question important for us to collectively keep our borough house in good working order. We at the borough are committed to achieving that goal, and moving forward, we will continue to employ sound business practices. First, we will maintain our essential services. We will balance our budget with appropriate revenue increases as necessary. We are and will continue to address our current and future infrastructure needs. Through all this, we are investing in Lansdale. To illustrate how the staff is investing in Lansdale, each department has highlighted their accomplishments in 2016 and identified their goals moving forward into 2017. And as we look through the following slides, I'll cover some of the highlights. You'll be able to see the full presentation on our website, along with a detailed budget after tonight's meeting. We begin with the police department. They have settled into their new home here at the municipal complex and continue to fully utilize their new space and its efficiencies. As both an accomplishment and a goal, the accreditation process that they've undergone is much easier with the resources available to them. Law enforcement accreditation is a method and an ongoing process to ensure that the Lansdale Police Department is in compliance with the national best practices in policing. These practices cover all aspects of the law, enforcement policies, procedures, and operations. Accreditation makes a statement to other law enforcement agencies and the community that the Lansdale Police Department meets the highest standards of professionalism. We as a community, as individuals, we certainly know that our Lansdale police are top-notch, but now it's official. Everyone knows that the electric department makes sure your lights go on. But as you can see by their 2016 list of accomplishments, they do so much more. One of the largest accomplishments that was undertaken this year was the start of our LED streetlight replacement program. By replacing our fixtures, we will be improving our visibility and safety in our neighborhood, as well as saving costs by working with the DVRPC and surrounding municipalities. Looking to 2017, the electric department will maintain the services that they provide by repairing and replacing items to assure residents' lights go on and projects continue moving forward. Note, one of the things we will be doing is purchasing a rear yard machine and replacing the Richardson substation. You'll see a picture of the rear yard machine a little bit later. 2016 was a collaborative year with the borough, but especially in the community development department. The most notable collaboration is that of the borough and SEPTA. As Lansdale and our neighboring communities continue to choose public transportation, SEPTA recognized this trend and took action by investing in the borough. The Ninth Street Station was constructed and opened and placed into full operation last year, or earlier this year, in attracting future transit-oriented development to the former American Olean Tile plant location. Additionally, the station is being used for temporary parking during the construction of the garage at the Lansdale station. After much coordination with the borough, construction began on the garage earlier this year and is now nearly complete. In addition to adding parking spaces for commuters, the garage is also positioned to dovetail with the development of the Madison parking lot. Looking once again to 2017, cooperative efforts will increase throughout the various construction projects that Lansdale Borough will be undertaking. As the interest in development in Lansdale has grown, the borough created and filled the position of project manager. This position is pivotal in keeping projects on task and well managed. One of the main functions of this position is agency coordination. The borough works closely with PennDOT, DEP, SEPTA, to name a few, on projects from conception all the way through to implementation and completion. Having a designated staff member to oversee the direction, administration, and completion of the various projects is a huge advantage for the borough. Additionally, work will start next year on Madison Street and East Main Street streetscape, both of which are funded through grants, and this position also affords us continued grant research into obtaining new grants and new opportunities for the borough. Customer Service Department has been in the building for over a year, and the feedback has been that it's much easier to interact with the borough when paying bills, signing up for for service, or any of the many functions that our Customer Service Department performs. Included in those functions is responding to questions raised by our citizens, whether in person or through right-to-know requests. On average, the borough receives over 100 right-to-know requests each year, and each of these must be researched and answered in a defined time frame. In order to answer those requests, it's important to have up-to-date laws and ordinances. And we're in the middle and hope to complete this year our codification process. And through the codification process, the borough will be able to function more efficiently across departments, which will allow for more efficient enforcement, as well as making our laws readily available to our neighbors to view and to follow. Another place that I love to take my grandkids was the library. Offering over 900 programs each year, there's always one for the family to enjoy. This year, the library started the Bike Loan Program, which is a collaborative effort with the partnership TMA that allows citizens to borrow a bike at no cost for up to 3 days. In addition to the bike program, the library looks to work with the North Penn Arts Alliance to refurbish the art gallery located in the library. With the knowledge of a local organization, the library will become a place to exhibit and show off the talent of our neighbors. Despite our small size, Lansdale Borough has become much more of an urban center with growing needs. The GIS and IT department assists in making those needs attainable, as well as more efficient for staff to complete their jobs. We have developed a pavement management system and have created maps for turf maintenance, located the facilities in the cemetery, zoning and floodplain maps that can be used by the various departments to help create and then implement programs now and in the future. Technology will play a large role as we move forward, and the investments that we make today will only help us in the future. Here in Lansdale, we're fortunate to have a public works department that in many instances serves as our in-house contractor. Without our public works crews, projects could require outside contractors to participate much more than they do right now. And as you can see in one of the pictures there's a collaborative effort between our public works and electric department as they work together to complete a portion of utility relocation that was necessary for the SEPTA pedestrian bridge. For years, we've heard about the mandated MS4 program that improves the quality and quantity of water being introduced to our streams. We recently submitted our study to Pennsylvania Department DEP, and we now are anticipating its implementation. This is likely to be one of the largest environmental improvement projects that the borough will undertake. The largest accomplishment for the treatment plant this year was the completion of the capacity upgrade. These upgrades allow the borough a more environmentally friendly way of treating the excess flow that comes into the plant and continuing in a more efficient way the normal operation of the plant. This major investment will keep us in compliance with environmental regulations. Additionally, this year, we replaced our sludge hauling truck. While the outside of this truck, what you're seeing is the existing sludge hauling truck, it looks nice and shiny. We try to maintain it well, but it's even more important to know that the inside of the truck is well maintained for the safe and efficient transportation of this important material. And the purchase of that new truck will go a long way towards ensuring that. For 2017, the plant continues to look at making capital improvements to remain compliant with the regulatory agencies, as well as keeping our water clean and safe for our neighbors. And speaking of water, the Parks and Recreation Department added some new features to the pools this year for everyone to enjoy. Children and adults alike can enjoy the challenge of a climb on the aqua climb wall or jump from finger to finger on the floating Whibbit hand. As a result of the long-term planning, many of the items you see on this list began work before 2016. The Liberty Bell Trail continues to move forward as we recently worked to align the trail with the Andale Green development. Weaver Field grandstands, which are an iconic part of our park system, and they are receiving much-needed updates. We also met with the neighbors from 4th Street last month to discuss the location of the long-talked-about skate park. We will not only serve our neighbors, but we try to listen to them as well. Many of them have asked for an easier way to register and pay for the great programs offered through the Parks and Recreation Department. And in 2017, we are looking to make that request a reality with the implementation of our online program registration. How does the borough maintain or increase these services at financially sustainable level? Let's talk a little bit about numbers. In 2017, our operational expenditures are projected to be $42,858,657. Our operational revenues are projected to be $42,689,080. This leaves a $169,577 funding gap. What you see here is an overview of our capital improvement funds from where they are today to some of the expenditures that we will be making to where they need to be in years to come. Here we see, here we look at a GIS view of our planned capital improvement projects for the year 2017. Some of these are a little bit hard to see here. Once again, please feel free to take advantage of looking at this on our website. Our borough fund sources. We have basically 6 major funds. The allocation of resources is broken down into the various funds, as you can see on this pie chart. And obviously, the largest one that you can see there is the expenditures from our, or the fund sources from dealing with electric. This leads us to a proposed course of action to deal with the gap between our expenditures and revenues by increasing our millage 0.225 mils. This equals $27 per year per household. These numbers are based on an assessment of a $120,000 home by the Montgomery County. I'd like to point out that in 2017, we are projecting a 1.0% increase in the overall salaries. We're also projecting a decrease in the cost of benefits, not a decrease in the benefits, but a decrease in the cost of benefits of 2.2%. So how does this affect our neighbors in Lansdale? Here we show how your current tax dollar is allocated between the three taxing entities. Again, these numbers are based on the assessed value per Montgomery County. As you can see, right now, the current property tax for Lansdale Borough is $540. Here we show how tonight's proposal for funding the gap will affect that dollar allocation. As you can see, the proposed action equals $567 per year. What do you get for $567? Once again, I thank you for your attention and time as we've talked through the 2017 budget. To summarize, I'm presenting a budget that is balanced in total as well as in each fund, setting aside some funding for future needs through a proposed 0.225 mils. As outlined, the 2017 budget assures that the borough is fully prepared to serve our community and its neighbors well into the future.